That's like literally the stuff of nightmares. That freaks me out so much that it's
That's really exciting.
California.
got that good sun.
Ooh.
Cheers.
We're Erin and Brandon. If you're just tuning in, we've been driving our self-converted Ram ProMaster across the U.S. attempting to visit all of the national parks. We started our road trip in New York and have made it to the long-awaited California, where we found ourselves sleeping in a winery, all thanks to Harvest Host. So our plan for today was to head to Napa Valley to hit up some wineries. A friend who lives in San Francisco told me to definitely make a reservation. So I was like, okay, cool. We are very go with the flow. I mean, we like to plan a skeleton plan, but for the most part, we're very go with the flow. We didn't know what time we would be headed there. Everything's booked. Brandon and I were calling places, looking places up online. They have a restriction on how many people they can have in and whether or not you could do indoor and outdoor seating. Finally, we got one reservation at Rutherford Hill Winery. The pictures look beautiful. I'm really excited. I've always wanted to go to Napa, Sonoma region, have some good wine, so we're gonna do it. Woo!
It better be the best wine tasting I've ever had because it was $60 per person for wine tasting. Better blow me away.
Worth it. After enjoying our wine tasting, we drove south to San Francisco, where we met up with some friends and of course had to visit some of the most touristy spots in the city.
We are about to see some painted ladies. I don't know, this might get graphic for the channel. I don't know if we can put it on there, but we'll see. Thanks. I like this park. That's it.
Turn left onto Steiner Street, then your destination will be on the right.
All right, what do you think?
I don't know, they're houses, they're really pretty houses, but they're, you know, at the end of the day, they're just houses.
Speaking of houses, we've got a full house coming up.
Hey,
Woo!
give it to them.
Everywhere you look, everywhere is the heart, is the heart. They've definitely changed the door because the door in Full House used to be red, but it must be weird to live there and have people come and take pictures of your house all the time. So I apologize, but also not really. Because Full House, come on.
You knew when you were buying the Full House house that people were going to come by.
Yeah, they have signs like no trespassing, so I'm sure they're used to it. I try to make the bed every day because since this is such a small space, if the bed's not made, it makes a huge difference. It just takes a couple minutes in the morning to make everything a little bit brighter. Yes, I do bunny ears. Comment below if you do too.
We decided to do the Concord Gluch Trail, which connects with the High Peaks Trail. And apparently it's just a good loop to do. So for one hike in Pinnacles, we chose this one. There's also a couple caves that we were thinking about checking out, but they're closed. There's a very high warning for fire. Everything's very dry, so I'm not terribly surprised about that. But anyway, so we picked this trail and hopefully it's a good one. I don't want this to sound like we're complaining, but this is definitely one of those days where we didn't really feel like hiking, but we felt the responsibility to, because when else are we going to be back at Pinnacles National Park? And we wanted to do it justice, so we're going on a hike, forcing ourselves to do it, and hopefully we really enjoy it. But there are times where it's tough to motivate yourself to go on a hike if you really just don't feel like it. I think my worst fears in life have been confirmed, and it's this guy right here. That's like literally the stuff of nightmares. That freaks me out so much that it's hairy. It's huge. It's like one of the biggest spiders I've ever seen in person, especially in the wild. I just hope it's nowhere near me when I sleep.
I saw it first. I was walking on the trail and then I just kind of slowed down because I knew Brandon would be afraid. Didn't say anything because I was thinking maybe he won't see it. And then he said a profanity and took out the camera. Pinnacles was established as a national park in 2013, but had been a natural haven for humans and wildlife alike in a rapidly urbanizing area, being only 2 hours from San Francisco. This is the viewpoint, but honestly, I think I want to turn around and look at this view. Because this is where the cool, rugged rocks are. After the viewpoint, we're continuing on just a little bit further towards the High Peaks Trail. Just enjoying the view all we can before the sun goes down, because it's just about to go past those mountains there.
This park is really beautiful. We were just remarking that we feel like we've seen a lot of the highlights in the park and we've just been on one trail. There's only 32 miles of hiking trails in the park and some of them are closed because of the fires. So I feel like we're doing the best thing and enjoying it for our day hike.
This here is our peak at Pinnacles National Park. Like Brandon was saying, we feel like we just got a really good glimpse of the park. If we're gonna stay here for a little while, enjoy the view, and then we'll head on down because we're losing light. We are in a town called Hollister, which reminds me of my middle school days, at a campground that is actually for motocross. We found this campsite on iOverlander, and as I was reading about it, I kept seeing loud during the day because of the bikes, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then as we were entering the park, it all made sense. This is a campground for people who want to do motocross, which is really cool. We will not be doing that. We are staying here because it is in between Pinnacles National Park and Yosemite, and it has blazing fast Wi-Fi. So we've been staying at a lot of free campsites recently. So why we wanted to get a campground for the next 2 nights is because we're in between parks and because we wanted to make sure that before we get into Yosemite and Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, which will be about a 4-day long trip, wanted to get rid of everything, get everything fresh, clean, get all the dirty jobs done. Speaking of, what are you doing?
We got a new hose ordered to San Francisco, so need to toss out this old hose. Hoping it'll fit in these dumpsters here. Kind of a weird thing to throw away, but it's like a really crappy hose that just kinks all over the place, so we got a new one.
Shouldn't we make sure the other hose works first?
It's gonna work just fine.
Are you gonna go shower?
Yeah.
All right, we gotta do these dirty jobs though. So you're gonna get clean before you get dirty?
Exactly. Basically, it's registering that it's full, but it's not, and so it keeps clicking. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Why did the chicken cross the road? In this case, it was to get to the other side. Wow. That's a
What?
100%.
No.
Yes. Come here.
What?
It's going down.
Oh my.
Oh, it did. We
Yeah, I
just
saw
caught
it.
It acts like it's done. Oh my god, this is so annoying.
We are being bombarded with the very potent smell of plant that is legal to grow in California. We have never been at 100% on our power.
Not since the van build, when we weren't driving it and we weren't using the refrigerator, then it was at 100%. This is the first time since then. That's really exciting.
California.
Got that good sun. We're about done with our hike. We're gonna start driving towards Yosemite. This probably isn't gonna go on the video because it's probably already over, but I'm just putting it in there, giving you options, future Aaron. I came up with a strategy where if I just barely held down the handle, then it would fuel. It made like a weird sound, but I was able to get 15 gallons in the tank, so at least we got some gas. That was so weird though, and it's never happened. I didn't like that.